I try not to take things personally. Your story is awesome, and I wish I could have been there. I wish that could have been me. I would have done my whole you're out of order, I'm out of order, this whole courtroom is out of order. I would have loved that. That would have been Welcome to the Real Agents Podcast, a podcast where our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to talk about life, real estate, and everything in between. So if you like your insights shaken and not stirred, well, then this is the podcast for you. That's Nicole Dash.
And that's Eric Harrington.
And we are
the Real Agents.
One of these days, we'll get it.
That was great. Yeah. That was perfect. We were in sync, felt good. We got good energy. We don't have awkward energy.
Yeah, no awkward energy today, right? No
awkward energy, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, what is awkward energy?
I don't know. Sporadic energy, maybe? I don't know what that means.
He sounds like my therapist.
Well, I feel good. The listing side all got together. We had lunch together at, if you're local, Artie's, which is part of the Great American Family Restaurant Group.
Awesome. I love Artie's. I love it.
Oh, their Aussie rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
They have this big like seafood platter thing where they it's like 8 different cold seafoods?
No, we didn't do that. I did the smoked salmon salad for lunch. Very good. And we all shared a little bit of their flourless waffle at the end. So that was nice.
A flourless waffle?
You've never had their dessert.
What is a flourless waffle?
It is literally a chocolate waffle. And I guess it's flourless, so it's gluten-free, so healthy, right? And it has
it's healthy.
ice cream and whipped cream, and it's warm, and it's so good. It's so
all
good.
That healthy stuff.
It's all so good.
The healthy whipped cream and the healthy chocolate.
Yeah.
That's
it's gluten-free. It's on their gluten-free menu, so but it was really good. This is so funny. We're saying this like 2 episodes after the real estate diet.
I know, yeah.
But 4 of us shared one. So it was like a bite each. It was fine. Totally fine.
Whatever. What is your favorite? What's your go-to restaurant dessert?
You know what? Anything chocolate warmed up with ice cream on top.
Really?
So whether it's cake or brownie or, if they have that on the menu, I'm probably getting it. Although I do like a good creme brulee.
Oh, with the little crunchy
I will take that in an Italian restaurant, but
I'm a sucker for carrot cake. If there is a carrot cake on the menu, yes, I'm getting it. And please have nuts in your carrot cake. Big fan of carrot cake with nuts.
I like it with the pecans, not the walnuts.
I don't care.
I think it
just
okay.
And cream cheese icing. Oh my god.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Well, I could talk about food all day. I am so hungry and so jealous that you had lunch. So I'm going to just chew on my fingernails while we do this podcast, if you don't mind, because I am.
All right. So what are we talking about today?
So today's topic is divorcing clients, and not like I want to divorce my client. It's clients that are going through a divorce, right? Now, I guess we could talk about divorcing our clients.
About both those things, but today,
absolutely.
No, today it's client versus client. How we work with clients that are in the middle of a divorce.
I can honestly say I have never been the reason for a client's divorce. So there, boom, got it done. I'm out.
Well, good. Yeah, then we both get that award. That's okay. But I have definitely worked with many divorcing clients. I say many, but on the listing side, the reasons people sell, and they're not as happy reasons. Sometimes a marriage is coming to an end and they decide that one can't buy the other out, and therefore they have to sell. They have to divide the proceeds. And sometimes it's amicable and you would never know, right? Except that they told you. And then other times you really have to play it It's really one of these towing the line, extra professional situations.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but yeah.
yeah, it's got to be tough to not pick sides too, right? I mean, as the listing agent, you're seeing what's going on, you're hearing both sides of the conversation. Are you able to kind of separate yourself from, who's right, who's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. So, the one thing I always say is, listen, I'm going to communicate with both of you equally. You're going to hear everything at the same time. You're both going to be CC'd on every email. Even if sometimes there's one person I'm working with more than the other, but I just try to make it very clear that I'm going to be neutral. I'm not, I even will say I'm not on anyone's side. I'm here to get you both to your goals. And so I kind of lay the groundwork from the beginning. And it's interesting because I've definitely had it where, I'll email CC both, but then one will reply to me separately.
Because they don't want,
right. And so then I'm like, reply to both. Because I'm trying so hard to keep them both in the loop and not have one feel like I'm favoring the other. And my job is to communicate everything with both of them. And so it puts me in a tough situation when one client will be on a text thread and they will only reply to me in a separate text thread. And then I have to almost like repeat their to the group. And then the other one will write me. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I've never had it like that. And that's just so, I don't know how you navigate that without, stepping on some toes and trying to remain totally neutral, but be empathetic to both sides. And, it's almost like you need a psychology degree to figure out how to navigate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of our job is being able to communicate well, mediate, have a level head. I think that's what makes us successful as a buyer agent, listing agent, never letting the transaction get too personal, even though sometimes it can feel that way, right? With like, what do you mean in the home inspection you want? I'm like, no, that's not me.
It's so funny. So on the buyer side, I think you usually get it where they've already gotten the divorce. It's like I'm helping someone find their house after they've been kicked out of the one that they've lived in for 20 years. Not to snicker at that because it's never a fun situation.
So sad.
Yes, it's incredibly sad. But oddly enough, one that I just ended up closing with, this week, not to date this, but we were purchasing a house that was forced to be, I guess, liquidated or separated as part of the divorce decree. And I tell you what, trying to deal with that seller was not easy at all. Yeah. That seller did not want to offer up any concession, didn't want to. And like, it wasn't just about money. It was just, hey, can we get access for this? Or is it possible for you guys to look into this? And that seller was in such a bad mental state that we weren't getting any kind of positive feedback at all.
Well, especially if it's not amicable and they don't both agree, and one is being kicked out essentially, or they're both being kicked out, and then it's like, I'm just not going to cooperate. Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm dragging my feet. You're forcing me to do this. I'm not going to answer in a timely manner. I'm not going to help with. I've had situations where one party was doing everything to prepare the home, and the other party literally just did zero like this to get the house ready. And it was like, that's not fair, because at the end of the day, they were splitting the proceeds 50-50. And yet the sweat equity and the time and the labor was all one party and none on the other. And, it's hard for me to be like, oh my, what a jerk.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
What a jerk.
Try not to pick sides in that
right.
one. But that's just a microcosm of what they probably went through their entire relationship.
Right.
And it is sad, and it's really tough when you're on the outside looking in and trying to negotiate that. What was interesting with my situation with this last purchase, trying trying not to let my client be pissed off about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really easy to sit back and go, well, that guy's just being a jerk. You know, why are they being such idiots to us? And why can't they just, you know, help us out? And I try to be empathetic and just say, hey, you know, you can't put yourself in someone else's head. You don't know what they're going through. They're probably not intentionally taking this out on us. They're probably not trying to be jerks to us, but they're trying to navigate this terrible situation that they're in and just trying to get through it as unscathed as possible. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation all the way around, always.
So tough. Let me tell you the story of how I ended up in court over something like this.
In court?
Yes. So I got a call from a lovely young woman who they had already gone through their divorce. Okay. So this is like after the divorce. And as part of their settlement, she was keeping the house and he was paying her off. But what she needed was comps from the time they got the divorce, because this was a few months later, from the time they separated. So it was backdating what the value of the house, the market value of the house would have been at the time they would have sold, so that way they could figure out a number as to what he owed her, right? So I pulled it all together. I sent it. We do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I was being very nice. I was just like, sure, of course, I'll help you. So I sent it. And then the lawyer reached out to me and said, hey, you know, are these accurate? Do you think these are? I said, yeah, of course, I stand by it. That was what was happening then. You could probably sell it for more now, but that was what was happening then. Months go by. All of a sudden, I get a subpoena. I'm subpoenaed to testify in court because he was claiming that those were not accurate numbers. She was claiming they were. And I had to go and literally go on the witness stand, put my hand up and swear. And the lawyer asked me questions on the spot and was trying to like almost discredit me. It was really crazy, this experience. I'm not kidding. It was like,
did they treat you as a hostile but
it was
witness?
it was like spitfire questions, you know, but I was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
You were on an episode of Law and Order Real Estate?
I was like no, yes, absolutely not. No, actually, incorrect. Because she was saying, so do you think, as a realtor, if you would want to price the house higher in order to, in this market, price the house higher in order to negotiate, and that would be an inflated price that you gave, because that was a market price of, like, basically saying that the price like I gave,
you gave a high number
with the idea that I would negotiate down later. And I said, no, actually in this market, it's the opposite. Yeah, I would price at or slightly under. So I had a response immediately. And then I looked at the judge. The judge was like, here. And the judge nodded. I swear the judge nodded.
It might have Did been you slip him the card afterwards?
It might have been my head. And then afterward, the lawyer, I left, and her lawyer came and was like, have you ever considered consulting on these things regularly? And gave me his card. I was like, I'm never doing this again.
You could be like the real estate lawyer.
I know. I would never because apparently there are people who get paid for this.
Yes.
I didn't get paid anything. I wasted a whole half day. I didn't even think about charging.
Did you at least get to yell, objection, Your Honor?
No, but it was fascinating because you had to sit through a couple of cases before yours came up. And it was just crazy. Like, some people were defending themselves. They were fighting over who's paying the school bill. It was all family court stuff. Who's paying the kids' private tuition directly to the school or to the parent? I mean, it was kind of sad, actually.
It is all sad. You know, it's people aren't at their best moments in that moment. So, and in this whole circumstance, so I have a tendency to give people a lot of rope in those situations, right? I try not to take things personally. Your story is awesome, and I wish I could have been there. I wish that could have been me. I would have done my whole you're out of order, I'm out of order. This whole courtroom is out of order. I would have loved that. That would have been, oh.
Wait, pause. Is that awkward energy?
That is absolutely awkward energy. Yes. And I did that on purpose because I want to know what awkward energy is. Welcome, everyone. Stuck nails in their face, like just ripped their fingernails off, and they were carrying around book bags and shoes and dragging their kids around. And I thought, this week
it was closed. So how much more time will you cut off your commute once they open it, do you think?
I have no idea. I just like the idea that there's a change now. So
that you get to pay more. So. Well, since we live, so it's not just directionals, right? What else? What is the favorite thing that you
did it like 4 or 5 times, Mr. Producer?
All right. So next time, start over.
We're such a mess. All right. Well, to talk about our topic,
and we're going to have a special guest. So I'm so excited about this guest.
Welcome, the Real
Agents.
Yes.
Woo! Welcome, Eric. It has been, feels like forever.
I feel like a pro too. I'm gonna, every time I talk now, I'm gonna hold my ear and get really close to the microphone, so it sounds like I've been doing this for dozens of years.
Hey, that sounds like a plan. I like that plan.
It sounds like a pipe dream. Sure.
I love the metaphor.
Be a wolf. Wow, that was weird. I don't know what's gotten into me.
Cut it.
I'm going crazy.
No, I'm kidding. Ooh, no. You said something.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
Perfection takes practice.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
You don't wake up every morning and look this beautiful. We got to work on it, right?
A lot, actually.
Speak for yourself. Yes. Right after this.
Well, I hope we see it in the bloopers afterward.
I never have awkward energy. You know what? All right. I'm
just kidding. That was good.
I even buttoned my collar up so my energy would be.
Look, you are amazing, and on the podcast and with your clients, and that awkward energy is probably what gets you through those awkward moments with those awkward divorcing clients.
It does let me get away with saying things that I probably shouldn't say.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I tend to go the opposite route. Like when I'm working with people like that, and I end up being so uber unfunny. Yes. Just like, this is how it's going to work. And I'm very have no personality when I,
what makes this relationship work between me and you is you're professional. And I'm everything that isn't professional.
That is so not true. You are professional.
We are a yin and a yang. We are a yin and a yang.
So you're just saying I'm not funny, essentially.
No, proof you are extremely funny, Nicole. You crack me up constantly. All right, back to divorcing clients. I will say that I have had, every time I'm in that situation, it really is. It's just sad. And I don't know how else to put it. But being aware of how sad it is and how we can make it more palatable is what kind of gives me that energy. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want us to wallow in the sadness of it. Let's get through it and let's make it easy. That's when I think our jobs are the hardest, and it's when we're able to take that awkward situation, that awkward energy, but be able to get through it and make it as easy as possible for everyone involved. We don't have to dwell on the situation, but we do have to be in it, and we have to get through it. And if we can make it easy, then that's what's important. And going back to the one that I had this week with this closing this week with this gentleman who was having to sell his house, and you just knew he didn't want to sell it. The idea was, though, from my standpoint, my client was a little bit demanding on things that he was asking for the seller to do, And not that I needed to tell the listing side what was going on our end, but I thought it was important to explain to my client what this other person might be going through, so you have to expect things to go a certain way. And it's not personal. It's not that they're trying to stick it to you or screw you in this deal. But I'm going to advocate for you, but you need to understand that this one might be a little bit more difficult because this person is probably having the worst time of their lives.
Right. Yeah. It's a low moment in a lot of circumstances. And as a listing agent, I do like to be upfront with the buyer agent about it. And I will just, I'm protecting privacy, but I do say just, it's a divorce situation, period. That's it. No other detail, because sometimes that does help them understand that it may take a little longer to make a decision, right? Because there's a communication issue. And I'm hoping that the person on the other side has a little empathy and patience for us for that situation. Is that, how do you feel when a listing agent says that to you? Do you think that's important?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. It kind of sets a stage, and it lets us know that, this one's going to be a little bit different. It's going to go differently, and you're going to have to handle, things with a little more patience, for lack of a better term. And you absolutely want to know what's going on. You don't want to be left in the dark. You don't want to find out later on that that's what this was, and that's why things might not have gone as smoothly as they could have gone. Have you had a situation blow up during the process? Like, you started and everyone was fine, and then by the time you were close to finishing up, it all exploded?
Well, I never had one totally explode, but definitely a little bit of sabotage towards the end. And not sabotage towards the house, but more sabotage of dragging feet to get out of the house. Wow. So there was a couple, they had raised their kids. They were very close. One was retired. One was like a couple of years from retirement. So they were older and they were getting a divorce, which for me was just sort of like, oh my gosh, all these years and now you're getting divorced. But it happens. It absolutely happens. And they were the best of friends. You never would have known had they not told you, right? Like they were on the same page with everything. They seemed very caring. It was just like one of those, I had to keep remembering, oh yeah, they're getting divorced. They're going into separate homes. But he was a little bit of a hoarder, and we negotiated a rent back, a post-settlement occupancy agreement. And as we got closer, he was like, can I get an extension on that? Because she had moved out. She had found a place. He was there by himself and he was frozen. He couldn't. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm going to help you. We're going to get my hauler in here. We're going to get these movers in here. We got to get you out. There is no extension. They've already booked their moving truck. We were talking days. I'm like, you can't. They already let go of their home. Their stuff's going to be on a truck. You have to be out of here. And
that's tough.
And I could tell. Yeah, I could tell it was like the reality of the situation finally hit him.
Yeah.
So,
and it probably hit him really, really hard too.
Yeah.
And that's when you get your psychology degree and you try to navigate that one. Good job.
Yeah. Honorary. I think we should all have that.
I had one where I was working with a couple, and we found a house that we wrote an offer on, and we were negotiating back and forth, and it was like abruptly said, just pull the offer because we don't think we can do it. And I couldn't understand why, because it was really strong and we were going to get it. And then come to find, a couple of days later that, they just, I don't want to feel like the process of having to buy a house was what broke them up, but they broke up during that process. It was I guess they had an argument during the whole, the offer was in, and they couldn't decide, what was important. And I guess she felt like he had overstepped and he vice versa. And yeah, they told me to pull the offer, and it was wonderful working with you, but we're gonna split up.
Wow.
Now I ended up helping her buy a place, and he ended up moving, which is almost like another situation that you actually helped out on.
Yes.
Where a couple did buy a house, they bought it, and then split up after they bought it. And
did
I ended up helping
both of them both buy separately?
No, I didn't help him buy because he moved to England.
Okay.
But I got who helped him? Oh, Monica helped him list his place, but I ended up finding the buyer to buy the place. It was weird. I ended up doing most of it for both of them, which was which was really interesting and fun. But yeah, okay, I'll pat myself on the back, and that's only because I was empathetic to both of their situations, and I think they realized that.
Yeah,
so that particular couple felt comfortable with me helping them both. And the one thing I did learn is never say anything negative about the other person ever, and just always be, upfront and available.
Yeah. Right? And that's something you're good at. Yeah, for sure. Because I think, it very well could be, especially the first story you said with the couple that in the middle of the transaction decided, forget it. How many times was your name brought up? I get Eric. No, I get Eric. No, I get.
What I wondered, like, because there was like this downtime during that whole thing where I didn't hear from either one of them, and I felt like I was responsible. Like, was there something I did wrong that made them like want to split up? But then she reached out and told me what was going on, and I helped her find a place. Never spoke to him again, so I don't know what happened there. But I think he ended up finding someone else to cohabitate with, and that's what that was all about.
Oh yeah, not good.
Yeah, that was terrible. But the other situation, I kind of felt really good that both sides felt comfortable enough to keep me in the mix and have me help them out. So that's great. That was fun. All right, are we divorced of this conversation now?
I think we covered a lot. I'm trying to think what else we could talk about, but
we could talk about divorcing a client.
Well,
I've done that a couple of times.
How many times do you feel like doing that?
I haven't done it this year though.
That's good. I definitely felt like doing that with someone you introduced me to, but we didn't. I didn't. We made it through. I had your support. We were good.
Yes, we handled it. Yes, we handled it with a plum. That's my new word of the day, a plum. I'm gonna go eat a plum after this. I'm so hungry. Is this awkward energy too? Is this awkward energy?
No, you're all right. It's
all right.
That is okay. That was awkward bit much. That's a little awkward.
All right. Well, let's move on then. And we are back. Yes. And it's time for market perspective. I'm going to go first.
Good.
I'm going to tell you what my perspective on this market is right now. It's a little. I went a little overboard there.
For you. No,
yeah. So I have had a couple of open houses recently, and I'm noticing that traffic is down. I don't want to say it's way down. I think part of it is I've had a couple of Saturday open houses, and I don't think that buyers are trained to come out on Saturdays, as Sunday's usually the open house day. But I've noticed that two things. Yes, one, traffic is down, and two, buyers are a little more educated now. It's like these are the folks, the remnants of last season. They've been trained how to write, unfortunately, losing offers because they're still looking, but they know the right questions to ask, kind of thing. And that's been my take on how many people are out there looking. Now, I've also had the opportunity to write and ratify a couple of offers as well. And what I'm noticing there is competition is down. We're not competing, and these are nice homes that I ratified. We're not competing with, the 5, 6, 7, 8 offers. One, I was competing with only 2 offers on a wonderful house in Arlington. And then the one most recent was a home in a 55 and over community, really highly sought after community that typically gets a lot of action. And this house did get some showings according to the listing agent, but we went after it right away. We didn't wait for the weekend to end. So we wrote a fairly strong offer early, because I did anticipate that we would end up competing if we waited till Sunday or Monday. But I thought that there would be action earlier too. I was a little surprised that we weren't competing when we did submit the offer. And yeah, because of the no competition, you're not going crazy with your offers. You're not waiving all the contingencies. So it's good in a lot of ways, but I'm also a little concerned too. So that's my take. I'm concerned that, that it's not hotter, but it's also the time of the year as well. And it's going to pick up. I don't like to date our podcasts, but we're in that time of the year where there is a bit of a lag.
Yeah.
And we're scheduled to kind of pick up in the next week or two. So that's my take.
Yeah. So my perspective on the market is obviously, right, big elephant in the room. Inventory is way, way, way down every month. It's just dropping.
And why is that, Nicole?
And why is that? Because interest rates are creeping, or creeping up, and then and the truth is, there's a lot of mindset we're trying to battle here, right? So when I'm getting a lot of calls, and the appointments I'm going to right now are all kind of like, what's my house worth, right? It's a value call. So tell me my market value. Okay, now tell me, when would be the best time to sell? Because I have a great interest rate, and they're just watching. They're like in this wait and see situation. And the first thing I say to them is, I don't have a magic ball. Like, I can't tell you, I can tell you historically the best times to sell. I said, it's still a seller's market because inventory is so low. There are still buyers out there. Yeah. And even if they are pickier, right, and they're looking for the right place, the supply and demand haven't leveled out yet. So you still have such a low supply and enough demand for your price to be great. You can still get a good price. And, I can control that right now. I can tell you, if you sell now, you're going to get a great price. But of course, but then they have to get rid of interest rate, and then they have to buy at a higher interest rate.
Yeah.
And what we always say, we said, well, the fact that you're going to buy in now, prices are going to continue to climb. And if you get in now, you can always refinance later when interest rates drop. The best time to buy is always yesterday. It's always now. The, appreciation is still going to go growing. I don't see it dropping. I just don't see a big drop.
And that's the thing. I mean, if we continue to appreciate at the rate that we've been appreciating, even if the rate comes down, a little bit, you're still going to be paying more because the appreciation, went faster than the rate fell. So and what I am noticing is, yes, there are still buyers, and buyers that get it and understand that the rate isn't everything, and they need to buy despite the rate.
Yeah.
So if you've got a property, that you're willing and able to sell, I get why you might want to hold back and wait a little bit, but I think you're not setting yourself up for success by waiting.
Because I mean, like you said, the buyers that are out there, this is their reality. They've made peace with it, right? When the first did the big drop last, people kind of froze. They didn't know what to do. They got out of the market for a while, and then they realized, at some point, I have to get in. I still have to buy a house, right? I still want to make that investment. And so this is the reality, right? Your price point may be dropped, what you're able to afford, but this is your reality. And, people who are selling, who are just sitting there watching, they're going to make a mistake. I really feel like it'll be a mistake if they wait, because and this is just me, I don't know anything, right? What do I know? But in my perspective, and I don't know if our mortgage person disagreed with me or not. I don't remember. But for me, just just thinking it through, common sense, like if interest rates do drop significantly, and all of a sudden, at first, all these buyers are going to jump in, and whoever sells at that moment, prices are going to go higher. The supply and demand is going to be way off. But then at some point, those sellers are all going to jump in, and they're all going to jump in at the same time. And then what's going to happen? I mean, so where do you want to be? I mean, hello.
No, you're absolutely right, because that's what's going to happen. The cause and effect will be interest rates go down. Everyone's going to be ready to buy. So now you've flooded the market with buyers, and that's going to drive prices up. So you'll make money selling, but you're still gonna hit it when you try to buy, because now prices are up across the board.
Yeah, and then if we can get those sellers off the couch and into the market, and enough of them come in, it may stabilize prices, but it's still, I mean, who knows? I don't think it's going to drop.
You know what though? This is the fun. This is fun. I really get a kick out of it. I enjoy it. I love talking about it. I love the whole process. I love the negotiating on price that we're actually able to do now as buyer agents. For the last 2-3 years, there was no negotiation. The negotiation was, how high can you go?
Right. How many contingencies do you need me to erase?
Let me create a contingency so I can get rid of it. There
wow. Yeah. Is there one not on the books that I can?
So it's a weird time, absolutely, but buyers are still buying. We just need more sellers to sell.
Yeah.
That's my take on all of it. Yes, call this lady wherever she is. And let's get some more homes on the market. So that's awesome. What a great market perspective.
It's great. Good conversation. Love it.
Yay. So are we taking another break?
No, I think we're rolling right into the end. We're done.
Is this awkward energy again?
No, it's not awkward energy. I think it's great. So
you know what? I'm okay. So this is how the sausage is made. We can see our producer, and what he goes through.
Can we show you what he looks like?
Oh my God. What he goes through. Okay, let's do it. Let's all do it.
Not happy with us.
I told him what to do.
Following the rules.
So many times.
Following the rules.
So many times. I tell them what to do. This is all payback for the years of having to put up with you, Elijah.
All right, so I think we can wrap this up now.
No, let's just.
So wait. One thing we didn't talk about.
What?
Like, subscribe,
ring the bell,
leave a review, 5 stars.
5 stars. 5. You know what? Just for Eli, give a star just for Eli, please, because he's the best producer in real estate.
You're going to have to edit a lot of this, Mr. Producer.
Yes, this is going to be a fun one for
cut out some pieces. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Give us a comment too. I want to hear some comments. We don't get enough comments, do we, Nicole?
Yeah. Nope, not enough. We love comments. We love knowing that people are listening, watching. It's what gets us up in the morning, gets us to record at Mr. Producer's request. And very excited.
Tell us what you think awkward energy is. Please. Just give us lots of feedback. We need feedback and some awkward energy from you, the listener. Thank you.
So,
all right.
Join us
next week
time
for Real Agents of
Fun, Real Agents of Change, and Real Agents of
Real Estate. That was terrible, but we nailed it. Nice. Love it. Thank you for taking the
Don't divorce us. Don't divorce us, Mr. Producer.
Please stick with us. We'll be better next time, I promise.
It's gold. It's gold.
Okay. I'm gonna click stopwatch real quick.
All right, and I'm coming right to the intro. I got it.
Right to the
intro.
I
know it. I know it now, Eli.